Hello and welcome. Welcome to yet another pick a card reading with me, Intuitive Rene. I hope you are well today and I hope you are excited for this particular pick a card. As you may have seen by the title, that this is no ordinary pick a card, and actually there's no cards to pick. What we have today is a pick a fruit. So if this is the first time that you are doing a pick a something with me, welcome. Let me explain to you how it works. I record, in this particular case, 3 readings using the same method, the same system, the same format, but obviously the message itself or the reading itself will be very different. To identify or to separate the readings, I generally use something to help you identify each, and today I'm going with fruit. So I've got banana, I've got apple, and I've got avo. So which of these are your favorite? Which out of these 3 is the one that you really don't enjoy, and or which is just the one that you're sort of drawn to? Let your intuition guide you in choosing which of the 3 readings or which of the 3 messages are more relevant and appropriate to you. And then all you do is go across to that portion of the video and receive your message. So this is to help you choose the message, to choose the reading. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a combination of my charms. You may be familiar with my charms. I haven't done a charm reading in such a long time on the channel, so I thought it was time to do that. So I will then use my charms, and I'm also going to use my tarot tiles. You may have seen these before as well. So I have my tarot tiles and I have my charms ready to go. So that is the only structure that I'm sort of sticking with today. I don't have questions. I don't have a context. I don't have a area of life to focus on. I'm just sort of going to allow the charms and the tarot to tell the story that needs to be told today. So I'm just the storyteller, and I'm going to do a story for the banana, a story for apple, and a story for avo. And yeah, watch all 3, listen to all 3. I'm sure you will get a message from each one of them that will be relevant and appropriate to you. And also, if you haven't already done so, why don't you consider joining my YouTube channel memberships? There's a lot that's on offer. And, it's the first tier. It's only 39 Rand a month. 39 Rand South African rands is, I think it's $5. It's not a lot at all. But what it does is it allows you just to show gratitude and to give a little bit back to me to ensure that I keep bringing you interesting, fun, and lighthearted content like this. I know sometimes the readings get quite serious. I always start off thinking, okay, we're going to have fun and we're going to be lighthearted, and then the messages come out and they're not. So, don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. So if you would like to join the memberships or, show gratitude by clicking on the thanks button below, I would so appreciate it. Right, so let's get straight into the reading. We're going to start off with reading number 1, which is going to be banana, and then apple, and then avo. And I'll see you at your fruit. And welcome to those of you who chose banana as the reading for you today. Welcome. As you can see, I have nothing on the table here in front of me. I do have the camera zoomed in quite a lot because I want you to be able to see the charms. Just off camera over here, I have the tarot tiles, and just off camera over here I have the charms. So I'm going to stick a hand in each bowl. I'm going to give it a bit of a stir. I'm going to grab a couple. I'm going to drop them right here on the table, and then we're going to read and see what is the message that Spirit have for you right here and right now. So let's do it. Just a quick little shuffle, and I'm going to grab a few, and hopefully this isn't going to go bad. And a couple of charms. Right, so there we have it. Let's have a look. So one of the first things I do when I do charm readings, especially when I use the tarot tiles, those that are face down, they have less significance. They are less important, if I can put it that way. So I'm going to start off reading just the 2 tarot that are face up, and then we will look at the charms. Now, as far as the charms go, there's actually only 4 charms, okay? There is a sewing machine. There is a fruit basket, Isn't that interesting? Here we're doing bananas and we've got a fruit basket. And then we've got an umbrella and a coat hanger that are quite intertwined, interconnected. So it'll be interesting to see how that one comes through. But looking at the tarot that we have, we've got the Eight of Swords. Now, the Eight of Swords is the card of saying to you, feeling restricted. And again, I said to myself that I wasn't going to connect it to the fruit, but in this particular case, I have to. When we have a hand of bananas, as it's called, when we have a hand of bananas, you know, they are squashed, they are connected, they are attached, they feel restricted. Sometimes when they grow, they you know, they feel like they can't move any further because of their neighbors, because of the banana that's next to them. You know, they're all attached at the top center bit there, but then as they grow, they do tend to squash up against each other and feel quite restricted. And that's what we've got over here with the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is the card of feeling restricted. It is the card that says, you know, you feel as if the walls are closing in on you and you don't quite know where to go or which direction to move in. But the truth of the matter is, with the Eight of Swords, as much as yes, you are feeling that way, the Eight of Swords says to you, when you re-examine the situation that you're actually in, or when you re-examine what's going on around you, you're going to see that you're not being held captive, that actually you're safe, you're secure, you're comfortable, and everything's actually okay. It's just the way that you are imagining / perceiving it that creates that illusion. Now, the interesting thing is we've got the Judgment card with it as well. So judgment is a word none of us like. none of us want to be judged, and none of us want to judge others, although we all do it. We all secretly do. We all secretly look at other people and judge them, and we judge them from our own perception, from our own point of view, from our own perspectives, okay? So we've got the Judgment card, and we've got the card of, I don't know if I'm feeling comfortable, and I don't know if I'm feeling all right. And when you're feeling vulnerable like this, it's quite easy for the judgment to become so much greater, to become so much more, and to become so much bigger. So I think, friends, for those of you who chose the banana, the message that's coming through here for you is to re-examine how you're feeling about yourself, to re-examine the circumstance and situation that you're in, and to recognize and to realize that you are the only person judging yourself. Nobody else is judging you. Nobody externally is judging you. You are judging yourself. Nobody else is doing that to you. Right, so if we look at the charms that we have got a sewing machine. Sewing machine is something that we use to mend, to repair, to fix, to put back together, or to make something beautiful. So we take what would ordinarily be just a plain piece of fabric and we make something amazing from it. So it is about creation, making things, and it is about mending and repairing things. But it's also about your creativity. Then we have this basket of fruit. Now, if I just bring it up and show you the basket of fruit, it's like a picnic basket. So we've got grapes and what looks like a bottle of wine or something. You know, it really is quite it really is quite cute if the camera will focus on it. And to me, that's about lavish. It's about excess. It's about having everything your heart desires and so much more. It's about going the extra mile and almost, if I can say, allowing yourself the opportunity to have a little bit of happiness, to have a little bit of joy, and to enjoy what life has to offer you. And then we've got these two intertwined characters. Now, I'm going to separate them very quickly just so that we can see them separately. Now, they both, even though they're so different, their shapes are fairly similar. This is almost like an upside down umbrella shape if you think about it. But the coat hanger is what we use to hold or to carry something we're not using at the moment, to keep it safe in the cupboard, to keep it crease-free in the cupboard, and to basically hold or protect a thing in a cupboard. And then an umbrella protects you from the rain. So when I look at these two and the fact that they were so intertwined, it is basically telling you that it's time to hang up whatever's worrying you, because you are safe and you are protected from the rain and the storm. So that comes through. And when I look at the two tarot that we have over here as well, it is giving a similar same story. You're feeling as if everything is going wrong. You feel as if the walls are closing in around you. You feel as if everything is quite hard, quite difficult, and quite challenging for you at the moment. And the Judgment card is your biggest fear. It's the thing that you worry most about. It's about, what are people thinking? What are people thinking? So It's time for you to mend your thoughts. It's time for you to mend your thinking. It's time for you to get creative on how you put yourself back together after the difficult time that you've been through, instead of thinking that it's continuing, because it's over, it's done now. The way that you used to be no longer is like that. Okay, we're going to use the sewing machine to mend, to repair, to fix, and to create something truly beautiful. We need to recognize that you deserve happiness, you deserve joy, you deserve an abundance, and you also deserve an easier time. Okay, it doesn't always have to be difficult, it doesn't always have to be a challenge, but it is time for you to take your preconceived notions of stress and fear and difficulty and challenge and hang them up. So when we hang it up in the cupboard, we're not forgetting about it. We're just saying, right now it's not relevant, right now it's not what I need to be focusing on, so right now I'm going to stick it up in the cupboard, I'm going to hang it there, and if I need it later, I can go to the cupboard and I can collect it, but for now I choose to put it away. And that's what you need to do with these emotions that are sort of clouding you right now. And the umbrella is just reminding you that you are safe, that it is safe to let go, it is safe to unwind, it is safe to remove those kind of thoughts, if I could put it that way, from your mind. So the next thing that I want to do, we've got 4 other tarot that are lying face down. I want to turn them over. Okay, I want to turn them over and I want to have a look at, remember, their message is not as significant as the 2 that were face up, but they still have a message, which is why they've come through. So let's turn them over and see what message they have. So the first one I'm turning over here is the Magician, which tells you that you have the ability to create and to manifest whatever it is that you want or whatever it is that you need in your life, which is talking about what we were saying here, that you are in control. You get to choose, you get to put it away, but you also get to mend, to fix, to repair, and to be creative in bringing yourself happiness and joy. So the Magician card is just confirmation that you are stronger than you realize, more capable than you realize, and that everything's actually going to be okay. The next card we have is the 2 of Swords. And the 2 of Swords, I know these are really tiny, so you might not be able to see, but can you see she's blindfolded? Okay, she's got a blindfold across her eyes. And by the way, so does our 8 of Swords, also has the blindfold. And this is basically saying that you're not allowing yourself to see what's right in front of you. You're choosing to disassociate with what's going on. You're choosing to disassociate with reality. And the 2 of Swords is basically saying that, you know, sometimes you have to make a tough decision, and in order to make that decision, you have to face the truth. So this is also confirming that there's a lot of truth being spoken in this particular reading for you. You're going to attach it and associate it to your particular circumstances, but there is definitely a lot of truth that's taking place for you. Right, and let's have a look at our next one. Ace of Pentacles, which is about new beginnings and allowing yourself opportunity for a new financial start. Okay, so again, maybe once we've looked and worked through this, maybe once we've mended, repaired, and created something, and we've allowed ourselves an opportunity to enjoy life to the fullest, putting our emotions away and realizing how safe and protected we are, maybe that will initiate and start up new possibilities for you, new opportunities for you for a fresh start, which is exactly what you're looking for. Okay, we have one left over here, and I've left it for last because it's actually, I don't know what the right word is, but it's almost leaning on the Judgment card. So it's not lying flat. And I know you won't necessarily be able to see that on camera, but it's sort of resting on top of the Judgment card, which tells us it's connected to Judgment. These guys were sort of all on their own over there, which is fine. But this one, it's touching Judgment. So its message is a slightly insignificant message to the Judgment card. So let's have a look and see what we have. You see, so it is the 8 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Pentacles is the card, and I'm going to leave him right there by the Judgment card. The 8 of Pentacles is the card of hard work. It's the card of understanding that you keep doing something over and over and over again until you master it. We mustn't stop. We mustn't give up. You need to keep going. So I'm going to go back to our first card that we looked at, and this is the card of the 8 of Swords. So the 8 of Swords, really speaking, is saying to you that, you know, you feel as if if the walls are closing in, you feel as if everything's just really difficult, really hard, and really uncomfortable. But the truth of the matter is, it's just your imagination that's running wild with you and making you expect the worst. But when you are honest with yourself and we remove the blindfold and we really look at our situation, you're going to see that, okay, it's not perfect, sure, okay, it's certainly not perfect, but it's not as disastrous or scary as you imagine or think it to be. So That's why we need the sewing machine, so that we can mend and repair and fix, and possibly even take a shirt and make another item of clothing from it, or make another thing from it, because that's what we use the sewing machine for. It's about taking a thing in one shape or form and I want to say redirecting or creating something else from it. And you're allowed to have excess, you're allowed to have beautiful things, you're allowed to have good experiences and good opportunities. Nowhere does it say that you are not allowed to have everything that your heart desires, but it's a case of you having to work for it. Okay, it's a case of you having to put it together, and that's again what our magician was saying. And then coming back to the judgment, you know, there is nothing worse than fearing judgment. There is nothing worse than living your life thinking that people are thinking bad of you. There is nothing worse than walking, into a room and just imagining everybody having negative thoughts about you. And I want to say to you with regards to that, this is something that you really need to work on. Okay, you really need to work on the way that you think people are reacting or responding to you, because actually they're looking at you and they're probably having a lot of positive thoughts, but you're imagining and expecting the worst, because that's how you are, I almost want to say, conditioned into thinking. So this is what needs to shift. We need to change our thinking. We need to change our strategies. We need to change the way that we respond to things so that we have better outcomes. Okay. I'm just to go back to the coat hanger here. If you leave your clothes on a pile on the floor, first of all, you're going to ruin your clothes. Secondly, when you do want to use them, they're going to look terrible. They're going to look creased. They're going to look dusty and dirty. And you also won't be able to see what you truly have. So putting clothes on a coat hanger and in a cupboard actually not only protects the item, but it actually makes it easier for you to select what it is you want to wear and when you want to wear it. So it is important that we put the effort in. Okay, to put the effort in to take care of, but also to constantly remind yourself that you are protected, that you are safe, and everything's okay. It's just the way that you're imagining it and seeing it that might need a little bit of adjustment. So friends, I hope you enjoyed your reading. If you did, please do give the video a thumbs up, and if you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you for being with me today, and until we connect again, with love and blessings from my heart to yours, and until we connect again, take care. Hello and welcome to those of you who chose the apple as the message, the reading that you need to listen to and hear, right now. So I have just off camera on this side, I have the tarot. And just off camera on this side, I have the charms. So I don't have a lot of space on the table here because I've got the camera quite zoomed in, because I want you to be able to see the charms quite clearly. So I haven't given myself a lot of working space today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my hand in each of these containers at the same time, and I'm going to sort of give them a bit of a zhuzh. I don't know quite what the word is, a mix up, a shuffle. I'm going to move them around, and then I'm going to grab a small handful of each, and I'm going to drop them on the table here. And once they've landed, we're going to get straight into your reading. So as I said, we have no context, we have no question, we have no structure to this reading. We're just going to allow the tarot and the charms to speak their own language, their own voice, and I am just going to be the storyteller. So let's get straight into it. I'm going to zhuzh them up, mix them up, grab a couple, and let's get going. Okay, so we have some tarot, and I'm going to grab some charms. Rightio, let's have a look and see what we've got. Okay, so when I look at the tarot, the first ones I always look at are those that are upright. The ones that are face down, they have less significance in the reading, okay? So we always start with the face up ones because they're the ones that are saying, pick me, pick me, pick me. And then we're going to have a look at the charms that we have. So I'm going to take these two and I'm just going to move them out of the way because there is a little bit of glare as well, unfortunately. So I'm just going to move them to the top here, and hopefully they can be seen over there, and I haven't really disrupted any of the other charms or any of the other tarot that we have. Okay, so the two tarot that we're looking at, we've got the World. Okay, the World is the first one. I love the World card because the World card talks to you about completion. It talks to you about saying that you've come full circle, that you've completed something, whether it be a project or an aspect of your life or a phase of your life or an understanding or something. But it's like saying to you that you've come full circle. And it's not saying, all right, we're done now, and off you go and have a nice life. That's not what it's saying at all. What the World card is saying to you is that we recognize that you've achieved something substantial, you've completed something substantial, and you're now at a point in your life where you're ready to start preparing for the next adventure, for the next cycle, for the next thing. It's like if we look at an athlete who is participating in events, they take all the time that they need to prepare and to train and to get ready for the match, for the event, for the race, for whatever the activity is. And as soon as they complete, as soon as they cross the finish line, that is the World card. It is like we clap hands and we celebrate and we go, yay, we're done. But that doesn't mean that they're done. What it means is this particular situation is complete, and immediately tomorrow they start thinking about the next event, the next match, the next race, the next situation, and then they start preparing for that one. So it's like, and every time they do a race, they're almost trying to stretch themselves to have a better outcome, better outcome, better outcome. So it's like, okay, we've come full circle. Let's look at how we did. Let's tick off all the boxes and say we did really well. But next time, let's try and do A, B, and C. Let's try and increase our speed, complete it quicker, sooner, get more points, whatever it may be. And that's where you're at right now. So you're at this point of acknowledging a completion of something, but also the beginning of the next. All right. And then connected to it is the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is about just jumping straight into it, okay? No thinking, don't overthink it. You know exactly what we're talking about here. And it's like maybe you've been thinking, oh, I'll give myself a week's break, or I'll give myself a month's break, or I'll give myself a year break. And the Knight of Wands is saying, no, you don't. Straight into it, okay? Go get busy, go do what you need to do. Time is short. Get busy and do what you need to do. Start immediately preparing and working towards the next thing in your life. Okay. So now I want to look at the charms, and I'm going to start off with this little charm at the top there because he's literally, half out of camera. So I'm just going to bring him ever so slightly back in and turn him around so that you can identify it. And hopefully, gosh, I can't even operate my stick. And hopefully you can see that it is a teapot. So what does a teapot represent? For me, a teapot represents a short break of just stopping what you're doing, having a sip and going, ah. So to me, the teapot talks very much to our World card, because that's what we do in the World card. It's like, yes, I'm done. Exhale, relax, breathe, and then pick up and start all over again. So the teacup is just a confirmation that we have come so far. We have done so much. Now enjoy a cup of tea. And as soon as your tea's finished, get going again. All right. Okay, allowed one cup of tea. All right. And then we have a couple of charms that are sort of connected to each other. We have the scales. Now, the scales that we have over here are talking about doing the right thing. It talks about understanding the balance that we get in life, and that if you spend all your time preparing for a thing, you never actually get around to doing it. Okay, so it's about finding that very fine balance between what it is that you want to do and what it is that you need to do and what's right and what's wrong. But also it's about understanding the other aspects of life that are just as important, because when we focus only on one goal, we forget and eliminate everything else in our life, including our families. And sometimes that's not the right thing to be doing. So as much as we are busy, and as much as we need to get straight back on the horse's saddle and do it again, we just need to make sure that we're doing the right thing and that we have balance in our life. But we are allowed to have one cup of tea. We have the king's, I want to call it the king's throne, but that's not the right word. Crown, the king's crown. So we have the crown over there, and the crown just talks about and gives you confirmation of how significant you are, how important you are, how wonderful you are, and how everything that you're doing is so significant and wonderful. So the crown is just saying that you are not just an average soul, that you are actually somebody quite extraordinary, and that you do tend to do everything bigger, okay, which is not a bad thing. And then we've got a feather, and as you all know, when we have a feather, it is a sign from our ancestors, a sign from our loved ones in spirit that they are with us, that they are drawing near, and that they are wanting just to say hi. And the interesting thing around the feather over here is we've got an upside down telephone. Gosh, I'm bumping the tarot. We've got an upside down telephone, and it's one of those old fashioned telephones. So if you're looking at that going, how is that a telephone? You're obviously still very young. We also have an sign over here, which is leaning up against the tarot. So we'll see what that tarot is that the is offering healing and understanding and compassion to. And then, so going back to the feather. So the feather is just a message from spirit to say, we're here, we see you, we love you. Just a little popping in to say hi. And the telephone, and the fact that it's an old-fashioned telephone, it is also confirming that it's your ancestors in spirit that are, or your family and loved ones in spirit that are wanting to just reach out and just say hi, just to make that connection. The other thing that we have, which is distance related, is this over here, which you may look at it and go, I actually know what that is. And it's a telescope, okay? It's one of those ones that you put on your eye and, and you look at stuff far away. So again, we've got the telephone, which connects us to far away, and we've got the spirit, the feather, which connects us to spirit. So these two are giving confirmation that your loved ones are really drawing near. So whoever you are missing at the moment, whoever you are thinking about at the moment, whoever you are longing to hear from, just know that they're with you and that they are popping in and saying hi. Just confirmation that they're thinking about you, confirmation that they're watching your life and understanding the cycles that you're going through and how it is just time to get busy. But maybe you need to sit and have a cup of tea while you ponder and think about your loved one, because that's also when they will be drawing near. Now, the other interesting thing is down the bottom here, I have a little charm that represents masculine energy. So I'm wondering, it is connected to this tarot, so I'm going to keep it close to this tarot, but I'm wondering if the spirit family or your ancestor, your loved one in spirit that's drawing near, isn't a male. Okay, so I'm just putting that out there. Take it, leave it, see how it goes. So the charm is connected to that tarot because it's actually leaning up against it. So I'm going to look at those two together. And the masculine one is connected to this tarot. So we will look at those two together as well. And then these three are all completely on top of each other, as you can see. So that means that these three need to be read together with that charm and with that charm. So the fact that the tarot are upside down is means that the message is not as important, not as significant as everything else that we have already covered. But let's have a look at it anyway. I'm going to start with this one at the bottom first, and then I will do that one, and then I will do that one. So I know everything's going to go falling when I turn that one over. And what do we have? The first one is the Ace of Swords. Now, the Ace of Swords to me makes sense because the Ace of Swords, I want to put that one with it. The Ace of Swords is about ideas. It's about inspiration. It's about the stuff that happens in the head. And when I go back to this over here and saying how you've completed a cycle or completed completed a cycle and you're ready to get involved in the next one and ready to do the next one, this Ace of Swords is basically saying to you that you know this already. You're already having ideas on how to improve and how to do better, or what it is that you need to do. And there's definitely a male energy connected to this, okay, to this idea. So if you can identify, it's either the male energy is connected to the message from spirit, or the male energy is connected to this new idea that you have, this new strategy, this new method, this new process, this new something. So that'll be significant for you. Okay, I now want to do this tarot with the charm. So I'm going to move the charm, and I'm now going to pick up the tarot, and let's have a look at what we've got. So it's the Lover's card, friends. It's the Lover's card. So the Lover's card, let's put them together like that. So to me, the charm is about healing. It is about understanding. It is about compassion. It's about truth. It's about integrity. It's about honesty. Okay. But to me, it's always like just connecting with our spiritual self and understanding the bigger picture, understanding what's going on in the universe. And the fact that that charm is connected to the Lover's card is basically saying to you that your relationships need a little bit of understanding, need a little bit of work. And it's interesting that when I was talking over here earlier, I mentioned how sometimes we can, and I think it was with our scales charm, and I was saying how, sometimes we can throw ourselves into one thing and that we neglect other things like your family. And I think that's exactly what's going on here is Spirit sort of wanting you to acknowledge that working hard is great. Being focused and determined is great. But reaching your goals and ticking off your goals is fabulous. But we need to make sure that we understand that family is just as important. Family, friends, the people who matter most to you, that they are important. And we mustn't neglect them no matter what's going on in our lives. We must not neglect what they are, who they are and what they bring to us. And then finally, we have one more tarot card. Let's see what its message is. It is the Judgment card. And the Judgment card in this particular case is quite an interesting one. Judgment card came out in the previous reading of bananas, but I'm going to interpret it differently today for you because the context of the message is so different. I want you to look at the card, and here we can see we have an angel blowing on a trumpet. So the trumpet is what I want to focus on for you, because when do we blow the trumpet? We blow the trumpet when we are successful, when we have achieved, when we have accomplished, when everything is great, when everything is fabulous. That's when we blow the trumpet. We blow the trumpet so people can see you, acknowledge you, recognize your accomplishments and your achievements. So this is Spirit saying to you, we see you, we recognize that you've done well. We're not judging you negatively. Please don't take any negative judgment from anything that's been said here. But it's just recognizing that sometimes we just have to get things in order. Sometimes we've just got to do the right thing and take care of the people who mean most to us. So as much as you are busy, as much as you've got a lot that you want to achieve, and there's new ideas coming through, and there's all of this kind of stuff, Spirit are basically saying to you, you will succeed and you will achieve and you will have everything your heart desires, but we do need to have balance. Okay, you do need to have balance. But it is definitely time to acknowledge how we've come full circle, we've accomplished one thing, but we're definitely ready to jump in. But before you do, take a minute, okay? Because that's what the teapot is telling you. Take a minute, connect with your family, process and think about this idea that you have, and don't worry about what other people have to say, because other people, they're on their own path, and they must deal with their own things. Spirit is supporting you and encouraging you and motivating you and saying to you, we're looking into the future, we're connecting with you, we're talking to you, we're communicating with you, and we just want you to know that we love you unconditionally. So friends, I hope you enjoyed that message, and if you did, please do give the video a thumbs up, and if you haven't already done so, please do hit that subscribe button. And I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I look forward to connecting with your energy again soon. As always, with love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care. Hello and welcome to those of you who chose the avocado pear as the fruit that has the reading that you need to hear right here and right now. Welcome. So I have got nothing on the table, as you can see, and I've given myself a very, very small space to work with because I've got the camera zoomed in quite close, so that it picks up the charms, that you can see the charms quite nicely. Now, just off camera over here, I have the tarot tiles, and just off camera over here, I have the charms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my hands into each of the containers, and I'm going to give them a bit of a zhuzh, a bit of a shuffle, a bit of a mix up, and I'm going to grab a small handful of each and I'm going to drop them onto the table. And as soon as we've got a combination of tarot and a combination of charms on the table, I will start your reading. So we don't have any context, we don't have a situation, a question, we don't have anything. So this is just whatever comes through. I'm just going to allow the tarot and the charms to speak and say whatever they want to say, and I'm just going to tell the story. So I'm just the messenger, and I'm hoping and I believe that the message that comes through is exactly what you need to hear in your life right here and right now. So let's get straight into it. I'm going to shuffle and zhuzh them up a bit, and let's see. Hopefully I don't throw them on the table all over the place. Hey, grabbing a few, and let's do the same. I never get the center bit right. I don't know why, but I should have dropped them further down. Okay, let's do some charms, and I will hopefully drop them further down, just grabbing a few from there, and let's see what we've got. So, right, all looking good. Interesting. So the first thing we do when I, well, first thing I do, not we, the first thing I do when I do these kind of readings is I look at the tarot and I look at what cards are face up, because the cards are face up are the ones that are saying, see me, see me, see me, pick me, pick me, pick me. So in this particular case, we've only got 2 tarot that are face up, but we've got a bit of a pile happening here. So I can't really pull that one out without disrupting this one, and that charm over there, and obviously that one as well. So I can tell you now that we've got the 3 of Cups, which is really, really great, because the 3 of Cups is the card of celebration, of acknowledgement, of joy, of just having good times with good people, you know. So it is a confirmation for you that whatever you're dealing with in life at the moment actually is pretty good. And I can clearly, honestly, truly say that because I see the 4-leaf clover as well. So the 4-leaf clover is, again, it's luck, it's confirmation. It's that actually at the moment you're in a pretty good space. At the moment you're not really struggling with anything. Actually, life at the moment is pretty good. But I can see that down the bottom here. I'm actually going to try and pull it out. I know it's probably not going to work. Let me put my pointy stick down and let's see if I can do this. There we go. There we go. I got it out. I got it out. All right. So I needed you to see this one because it's the 10 of Wands. Now, the 10 of Wands is about burdens. It is about, you know, carrying a burden which is heavy, which is weighing heavy on you, which is, you know, affecting you in a negative sense. The burdens that you carry are, you know, they're real, they're legit, they're there. We can't dispute them. We can't pretend that they're not there. But the 10 of Wands is also the card that says to you, we acknowledge that you're carrying a burden. We acknowledge that life is pretty hard. We acknowledge that you're going through something difficult at the moment, but hang in there, you're just about done. That's really the message of the 10 of Wands. You're just about done. You know, you've only got a couple of more steps to go and you will arrive at wherever you are. So we do have, and I'm actually going to take it off there and bring it here. Let's put these 2 together so that we can read them nicely together. So the 3 of Cups is saying you've got so much to celebrate, so many reasons to celebrate. You've got so much going on in your life, positive going on, that you can acknowledge, that you can celebrate, that you can be proud of and happy of. But we understand that underneath all of that, it's actually been a pretty difficult road. It's been a pretty tough, hard road, and you have struggled. And you may still be struggling, but the 10 of Wands is confirmation that you are just about done with that. Okay. The next tarot that we have, the other 4 that we have on the table, they're face down. So when a tarot card comes up face down in this particular instance, when I do these kind of readings, I see it as being slightly insignificant, okay? So I'm going to save them for last because their message is not as important as everything else that we have. So now I want to look at the charms. Now, we've got quite a conglomerate happening here. There's quite a few charms that have landed sort of on top of each other. We have a star. We have a star on that card, so I will read the star in connection with that card. I'm also looking at the 4-leaf clover, which is touching this tarot, which means it's going to be connected to that tarot, as are the other 2 charms that are also on top. So I'm going to read them as a group. I'm going to read this as a group, and I will read this one with that one because it's lying on top of, and I will read on his own just now. But let's have a look at the rest of the charms. This one that's sort of falling out of camera shot over here, I'm going to bring it back in. I'm just going to move it down. Oh my gosh, can I operate a stick? It is a fancy moustache. Now, what does a moustache do? Generally speaking, you know, some guys really like a moustache, some don't. It's a personal preference. But right in the beginning, if we go back all the way through history and time and whatever, a moustache was a sign of status. A moustache was, you know, only worn by significant, important people, people who, you know, had power, had status, had symbolism. All right. So that's what the moustache is coming through there. The moustache is basically confirming. I can't operate a stick. Confirming for you that you've achieved much, that you are quite important, significant within your own space, within your own life. But people see you like that. People see you as somebody significant and somebody important. We have a charm over here, which represents feminine energy, okay? So it is telling you about nurturing, it's telling you about care, it's telling you about looking after yourself and looking after others. So you are an important person who likes to nurture and take care of other people. It's almost like I want to say you're an important person who's very much in contact, or very much in, what's the word I'm looking for? Very much connected to your feminine energy. All right. I am now going to go to this one over here, which is sort of on top of my umbrella. And I'm going to turn it over because I think it's upside down. And actually, let me show you here and bring it forward. So this is a cameo. And again, when nobody in today's times, or actually, let me not say nobody, very few people in today's times actually wear cameos. Cameos was normally a brooch worn by status, significant, important woman, and it was a sign of, again, status and power and authority. A cameo was something you wore on a special occasion. It showed that you had more than others, if I can put it that way. But it was really something important, and almost an invisible sign, or a visible sign to others, of who you are and what you're made up of. So the fact that we've got the moustache and the cameo is actually quite interesting. Feminine energy, about nurturing and taking care of others, being in I still can't think of the word I'm looking for, with your feminine energies, with your feminine sides. Now, we had the cameo upside down, connecting to the umbrella, which is basically telling you you need to be protecting your status. You need to be protecting who you are. And I think that's why we had the female energy by the moustache, because you need to nurture your status, nurture who you are, nurture your the way that people perceive you, the way that people understand you, the way that people relate to you. It's important that you nurture that. Okay, so I'm going to move these, whoopsie, over here, just so that I have a little bit of space. We're going to keep them connected because I now want to look at what we've got over here. So taking this one is an eye. Okay, it is just a plain round disc with an eye on it. An eye is about seeing. It's about vision. It's about seeing the truth, knowing the truth, feeling the truth. But it's also about reality, isn't it? Because we only believe things that we can see, unless it's religion and something like that. We generally tend to be realists. We tend to be the kind of person who speaks the truth and sees the truth and wants the truth. All right. And that's, to me, what this eye is. It's about getting to the eye of the situation, the truth of the situation. And I think you're struggling with something at the moment. When I look at everything that we've read so far, you are definitely struggling with something at the moment. You're putting on a brave face and you're like, yes, everything's fine. But the truth of the matter is you're finding it really, really difficult to understand what's going on around you. Okay. And we need to take the time. I almost want to say we need to take time out to think, to strategize, to look at the truth, to be honest with ourselves around what it is that we see and what it is that other people are seeing. How are people, and this is interesting, how are people perceiving you? How are people, when they look at you, when they hear you, when they interact with you, when they talk to you, how are they perceiving you? Are they perceiving you as somebody important, established, and significant, or are they perceiving you as somebody who is always struggling and finding life pretty, pretty difficult? So interesting one, that. So our eye was blocking our little owl. Pick it up and show you the cute little owl. So the eye was blocking the cute little owl, which tells you that you can't see your own wisdom. So here I'm saying that you are somebody of significance. Here I'm saying to you that you are an established person that everybody looks up to, that everybody appreciates. And you're probably sitting there going, no. Here, the fact that the eye was face down on top of the owl is absolutely saying that you don't see the wisdom that you possess. You don't see the way that people see you, perceive you, and the way that people experience you. The other charm that we have here in the same grouping is love. So this is confirmation for you that you are loved, that everybody loves you, that people appreciate you, that people respect you. But maybe you're not seeing it because you're so focused on this burden that you're carrying that you don't see how everybody. So when I was talking about this feminine charm here and representing nurturing and taking care of, maybe it's more a case of, instead of it being about you doing it to others, it's about allowing people to help you. And I think that's exactly where the message is morphing into, allowing people to help you through your burdens and your challenges, because people want to help you, because you're important to them, you're significant to them, you're amazing. All right, so I now want to look at, and I'm going to move these guys out of the way some more without taking them off the camera, because I want to look at this grouping that we have over here. There are 3 charms, and I know you probably can only see 2 from where you are. We've got the 4-leaf clover, and we know that the 4-leaf clover is about luck. We know that it is about, you know, happiness and luck and all of those kind of good things coming your way. So let's put it there. Then we have this charm over here, which is a charm that I use to represent child, okay? And on top of it is what you probably can't see, but it is a helmet, okay? It is a knight's helmet. And let's bring the child charm and the knight's helmet down to the bottom here, and then you can see all of them together. All right, so the message that I get from these, and remember they were connected to that tarot, so let's actually turn the tarot over. So here we have the 7 of Wands. So I'm going to put, running out of space, okay, let's move these guys up there, and then I can put the 7 of Wands over there. All right, so when I look at this grouping over here, it's basically saying to you that you are not letting anybody in. You have got your helmet on, and you've probably got the visor down, so nobody can see your eyes. Isn't that interesting? We've got the eye over there. Nobody can see your eyes. Nobody can see who you are. And it's also interesting that the helmet was on top of this charm, which doesn't really have a head. I was looking for a charm when I was collecting or putting my charm set together. I was looking for a charm that represented child, and this was the only one that I could find that, sorry, my camera went crazy there for a second, but it looks like it sorted itself out. So this particular charm doesn't have a head. So, but it is, to me, my interpretation of it is the child charm. So we've got the protection of the helmet. We've got the childlike energy of that, and we've got the luck of the 4-leaf clover. But you're not letting anybody in. You're keeping everybody at a distance. You're keeping everybody sort of a little bit away from you because you're afraid of, you know, can I, should I? And people want to help you. People want to support you. They want to protect you. They want to guide you through whatever it is that you're going through. They want to be of assistance to you, but it's almost like you're not letting anybody in. And I am going to say to you, with the child one here, you know what it's like when a child is sulking. That's the message that I get through this, okay? Is that you're so focused on the burdens that you're carrying and the difficulties that you're going through that it's almost like, no, I'm just going to sit here by myself and nobody's going to help me. So just be mindful. Just pay attention to if that is who you are, if that is how you are reacting and responding to situations around you at the moment. And if that is, the fact that we have the 4-leaf clover here is confirmation to you that you can actually adjust, change, and it will actually be okay. I am going to turn over the next tarot, which is going to be this one across the top here. And we have the King of Swords. So the King of Swords is telling you to get your mind straight, okay, to get your thinking straight, to make sure that you've got clear strategies and clear ideas so that you're not living in a dust cloud, okay? You want to remove that. You want to have clear thinking and strategies so that you know exactly what you need to do. Turning over the next one, the 5 of Swords. And the 5 of Swords is saying to you that sometimes you may have to do things that you don't want to do or that you don't like to do. Sometimes you're forced into doing something outside of your character, but it's the only way to protect yourself and it's the only way to advance yourself. So if you need to step out of your character and do things that go against who you are as a person, just understand that maybe it's exactly what this time is in order for you to turn things around, because you need to let down your defenses. And maybe that's doing something that you haven't done before. Maybe that's you doing something in a little bit of a different, unusual, peculiar way by letting your guard down and letting people in. All right, we have got one tarot left with a tiny little star on it. And I don't think you're going to be able to read what is on that star. Let's see. It says just for you. Can you see that? Just for you. So I do think that this particular tarot is obviously an important message just for you. So let's have a look and see. Final message from Spirit for you, just for you. You know what? I knew this was going to happen. So what we've got here is the 9 of Swords. And the 9 of Swords is the card of panic, of fear, of stress, of anxiety, of overwhelm. So it's quite interesting. And remember that this is a fairly insignificant, as are these 3. These are the only two that really carry significance in this particular reading. And then we've got the card of burdens. So the message that's just for you is Spirit saying, you know what, we see you. We acknowledge how you're suffering. We acknowledge how scary it is. We acknowledge how you feel like you've got no support. But the truth is, you have a lot of support. Here we have support. Here we have support. Here we have support. Okay. But Spirit is saying to you that you've got to let your guards down, because the support that's available to you is useless to you if you don't let your guard down. If you don't let your guard down and let somebody in, and I know it goes against your character and it goes against who you are, but you have to work through it so that you can overcome the stress and the anxiety that you're in. So friends, you don't have to be the superhero. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to shave your mustache and to put your cameo away. Okay. And maybe that's exactly what you need to do, to just be the same as everybody else around you, instead of trying to be somebody who you think you need to be, when actually the people around you just want you to be yourself. So this is quite a deep, deep, deep message, and I hope it resonates with you, and I hope it helps. I hope it helps you to unlock something that is locked inside of your heart and soul. If it does, please give the video a thumbs up, and if you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button. I look forward to connecting with your energy again soon. So as always, with love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care.